Hello. So I'm going to go over another part of the series of job search techniques class that we're offering. As you can see, my name is Tasha Penwell, and I'm with Hawking College. And I'm just going to share some of best practices that I've learned over the years, and those that are considered some resources that are available out there. So today's topic is actually going to be building your custom resume. Last week we talked about why you need to update your resume, and now we're going to go into some details on how you can build your custom resume for the job that you want. So we are going to actually use a resume template and guide and a spreadsheet, and we'll go over this towards the end of this presentation. But the website that we're going to be using is Zeddy.com, and then we're going to be using a spreadsheet for some tracking purposes. Let's go ahead and go through this presentation and go over some details. I want to make sure that we go over together, and then we'll go over the website and how you can utilize it. So things to consider whenever you're creating your custom resume: the format, the objective or summary that you have, the experience that you're going to put on there, your skills, and that includes both the tech skills or the hard manual labor skills, depending on your field, and the soft skills, which are things more like customer service, problem solving, and things of that nature. Other sections that you can include in your resume and cover letters. So the format, it depends upon the industry that you're going into. And most of the industries have a predetermined format that they like because that's what the recruiters are accustomed to looking for. Whenever they see your resume, they kind of know where to look at and, to see if you meet the qualifications. And anything that if your resume kind of does not follow along with that particular designated format, it can make it a little bit harder for recruiters to see what they need to see if you're a good candidate. And you don't want to make it harder for them. You want to make it as easy and as seamless as possible. And another reason is there may also be times where the recruiter is not necessarily looking at it. It's going through a application tracking system. And what that does is it looks for keywords to see if you meet the qualifications. So you need to just be very careful and very conscientious on the format that you're utilizing. Another reason for the format is it places emphasis where it's most effective for the job search. Again, that's going to vary upon the industry that you're in, what works best. The objective or summary, it makes an impression on the recruiter. So the summary is something that's more for the experienced persons in the field. It highlights their career progress and skill set. And the objective is more for the entry-level person. It reflects what they've already achieved and what they can continue to offer to the employer. So here's a couple examples. So this is for the objective. So the right way you can see is a technical-minded Virginia Tech graduate looking for an electrical apprentice position in tech engineering, bringing working knowledge of basic electrical tools and equipment for installing conduit systems and related troubleshooting activities. So he's saying what he is. He's a recent graduate. He's talking about the company specifically that he's applying to. So this is something you would tailor for every different company that you apply to. Excuse me. And he's talking about what benefit he can bring to the company, not necessarily what he's looking for in return. What he's looking for in return is pretty obvious. It's for anybody applying for jobs, they're looking for a job and income, benefits, and whatnot. But we want to make it obvious to the employer what the benefit is that we are going to give to them by being an employee at their company. So the wrong way would be, I would like to get an electrical apprentice job with your company where I could further develop my electrical knowledge by hands-on experience working under journeyman electrician's supervision. So he's talking about what he wants, but he's talking only about himself. The sense of it, he's just looking to get a job so he can get the experience. He's not focusing on what he can bring to the company that he's applying to. So you want to make sure that whenever you write your objective or summary that you are talking in regards to what the benefit that you can provide to the company, not just what you're looking to take away. So here's another example for a more experienced person. So the right way of doing it is dependable, detail-oriented master electrician with 10 plus years experience with construction, residential, and industrial electrical installations, substantial knowledge of industrial control, circuit management, and power distribution. Named Consolidated Edison's New York branch employee of the year for 3 years in a row for consistently increasing customer satisfaction. So that's an excellent example of the objective and what they're wanting to do. Um, or summary. Was it objectives or summary? Summary, sorry. Okay, so that's an excellent example of a summary of what this particular employee can bring to the company. He's talking about his experiences and everything that he's accomplished within his 10 plus years. And it's very well done. It's very this is a point of bragging rights, and this is where he does brag upon that, talking about the awards that he's won. So, the wrong way is organized, hardworking electrician, over 10 years of experience of installing, maintaining, repairing, and testing equipment for generating and utilizing electric energy. Has cooperated with clients in diverse industries. Now, this is very plain, to the point of what he does. Um, what the thing that rubs me the wrong way is that last line of has cooperated with clients in diverse industries. The word cooperated usually has a negative connotation in regards to you're doing it because you have to. And while that may be true, it's not something you want to, put on your resume because the potential employer can see that as a mindset if you only do it because you have to and you're maybe doing it begrudgingly, and you may purvey a poor attitude. So those are the kind of things that even just that one little word can have that kind of connotation in regards to what kind of person that you could be as an employee. Um, so those are a couple examples of the right and wrong way to put your objective or summary. So in the experience, what you want to start with your most recent experience. And you want to list up to 6 bullet points for each position, highlighting relevant, measurable achievements and responsibilities. You want to review the job posting and make sure that you make note of keywords of responsibilities. I mentioned earlier that there's sometimes, instead of using recruiters who are eyeballing their resume, they may utilize an application tracking system, which looks for keywords in the resume to see if it meets the qualifications. So if you have experience if you have experience mentioned in the job posting, be sure to include that in the resume. The resume should be customized for each role applying to. There's a PAR formula we'll get into here in just a minute. And it shows, you also want to show that you have diligence in learning, that you have the mentality of constantly learning for your field. So PAR is problem, action, result. Basically, that you understand how to define the problem and you know how to specify the action using action verbs to combat the problem, to fix the problem. And then you have a result, maybe good, maybe bad, but there is a result. So they want to be able to see that as relevant on your resume. So here's an example of how you look at an experience to how to put the experience on your resume. On the left-hand side, you'll see the job posting and what it's looking for. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the resume, the right and the wrong way of doing it. So on the left-hand side, you can see it's highlighted, troubleshoot and perform maintenance and repair work, high voltage switching and distribution equipment. So you can see all the highlights that's on this particular job posting. And on the right-hand side, you can see on the top, under right way of doing it, that they're working to match word for word almost what the job posting had. Again, this is not something you want to make recruiters or the application tracking system, ATS, to think or have any potential room for error in regards to won't realize a keyword or keywords that make you a candidate for the position. So that's one way that you can actually look at the job posting and figure out what to put on your resume. So if you go down below and it says wrong way of doing it, it just has very short little sentences on the resume of what you did and what your responsibilities were and for your experience. And while that may not be wrong necessarily, it does not work as well as what the right way of doing it. It has more thought into it, and it makes sure that it matches exactly or almost exactly what the job posting is looking for. So skills, you want to list your skills. You can have technical skills for whatever your field is in. You can have soft skills also for whatever your field is in. You want to highlight job-related skills in the job posting. You want to apply the previous experience and the skills to the job posting. So let's talk about that a little bit. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to this website I mentioned. Mhm. So this website is zeti.com, and it's a resume builder. They have a lot of great free resources, and that include templates, and they have some paid services as well. You can actually get a template, I believe, for $3. You can have a 14-day trial, which will help generate a template for around $3. So that's one way you can go about doing this. Or you can do what we're getting ready to go over together, which is to look at the guide that they provide and make our own resume. So I am going to actually go to resume and resume examples. And there is a list of categories on the left-hand side. And the ones that I've been doing, I don't know if you noticed or not, but they were inclined for the electrical trade. Okay. So I know a lot of times I do these and I do it for more of academia or something with IT related. And I just want to try to give this a well rounded experience. So I am choosing for this particular example, maintenance and repair, electrician. So here we have some guides and instructions from a certified professional resume writer, and this is fairly current. It's this year. I've seen some stuff that was fairly dated, like 10 years, and some of that stuff is still out there. And the advice that they give may not be really relevant for today's world with the digital age that we're in. So just be aware on the things that you're looking at as a resource. Make sure it's something that's fairly recent. Okay, so this again is one for the electrician resume examples. So let's see. So he has some ad lib and stuff that he's going on here telling the story. Let's see. One thing, and I'm just going to point out a few things. So the BLS, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, data shows that the demand for electricians is projected to grow at a lightning pace of 10% by 2024. So while not necessarily relevant to the resume that we're building, that is a nice thing to know. If you're an electrician and you're wanting to see that, it's something that's a growing in demand field. So let's see. So if you want to utilize the services, like I said, that's a few dollars. You can click here, but we're going to bypass that right now. And we are going to actually go through the guide. Okay. So they're talking about choosing the best electrician resume format. And then it kind of does a segue into a comparison of a picture of wiring diagram. You can read it easily because it's based on a precise layout and using schematic symbols that you're familiar with. Now, would you like to see a wiring diagram with a resistor zigzag substituted for switches, inductors, sketch instead of transformers? Of course not. It would be completely useless. And so will be your industrial electrician resume if you don't use the appropriate format. You don't want the recruiters to go haywire. So basically, what he's saying, to properly format a professional electrician resume will let you place the focus on the highlights of your career, and that the recruiters or the ATS system will be able to find the keywords or the phrases that it's looking for to see that you're a good candidate for the position. So, and for this particular one, they recommend the reverse chronological format, which is, again, you start with the most recent experience on top. It says recruiters are familiar with it and they will instantly find all the relevant information, which is, again, you don't want to make them think, or you don't want to make them make it harder to find the information that they're looking for. And here they talk about how some job companies, they will actually send it to a applicant tracking system. So just be aware if they have instructions on to submit it as a doc file or as a PDF, to follow those instructions. So they also talk about in this guide about, what to do if you don't really have a whole lot of experience, like you're a first year apprentice, you just graduated from school, whatever the reason is that you don't have a lot of experience. And let's see, and the same resume format is going to apply as well. So he talks about starting your electrician resume with either a resume summary or a resume objective, which is basically a brief paragraph that explains why you're the perfect electrician for the job. So a summary highlights your career progress and skill set. And it's here for talking about, it's more for the experienced one, the master electrician, the journeyman, those with more experience. And the resume objective reflects what you've already achieved and what you can offer your employer, and is more in line for the entry level, or the helpers or the apprentices. So they give an example, then we've already kind of go over that, so I'm not going to go over that again. And that's in the other example we've already gone over. Let's see. Let's see. Don't So he talks about the experience, how to put your experience in, and you start with your most recent job. And that way, then work your way back in time to all the previous positions. Depending on how much experience you have, a good rule of thumb to put on your resume is, again, it depends how much experience and your age, and would be either 10 years back or 3 jobs back. If you have a lot of experience under you and you're, been working in the field for 30 some years, you may not necessarily need to put all your roles and all your job positions there. Again, a good rule of thumb is either 3 jobs or 10 years. And again, that varies if how long you've been doing it and any other kind of those experiences. So again, you want to start with the most recent job, and underneath each job, add up to 6 bullet points that boast your measurable achievements and list your responsibilities. So we want to make sure that you provide a listing of achievements and accomplishments that you've had within the roles that you had at the previous employers, and make sure it's relevant and make sure it's measurable by using verbs. Use action verbs. Let's see. So as I was saying earlier, make sure it's relevant experience. You want to tailor it to the job posting for what they want. And that's kind of what we went over in the PowerPoint earlier. You want to use the same keywords to make sure you can make it obvious that you have the experience for the role that you're applying to. Let's see. So here's an example of a measurable achievement. Installed energy-saving devices, which reduce the client's quarterly electricity consumption by 24%. So if you have that information, you need to go ahead and apply it as it's relevant for the role that you're applying to. If you don't have that information, um, if you can't, and if you can't find the information, then you still want to put that accomplishment. But if you don't have the measurable, don't make it up. Just admit it and just keep putting some responsibilities in there as long as they're relevant. So then they talk about the PAR formula. You have a problem, you have an action, and you have a result. And this could be a way for you to put the measurable achievement. So this may require a little bit of thinking and just a little bit of research, but it's going to help in the long run if it's going to help you secure the job that you're looking for. Let's see. Now to put skills. So let's see. If you're an electrician, you have to be good at so many things. You have to be a master problem solver, a careful listener, and such. Um, the recruiters know that's what they expect of you, skills. So you have to know exactly how to list your skills on an electrician resume. And let's see. So you want to start with creating a spreadsheet and thinking about the skills that you have that make you a great electrician. So here they made a listing of technical skills and soft skills. The technical skills are the technical or hard skills for your particular field that you're going into. The soft skills are more like communication, working well with others or working odd hours, organization, mentoring. They're not necessarily technically related to the role that you're applying to, but soft skills are sometimes considered to be more important um, than the hard skills, the technical skills. So you really want to be sure that you are emphasizing both your technical skills and your soft skills. Let's see. Um, and now they are talking about how you can actually apply from the posting to your resume. So again, you want to look at the job posting, highlight the areas where they talk about the skills that they need or that the skills that the person will be using for the role. And here they talk about installation, maintenance, and repair. Um, they talk about safety practices and procedures, the ability to read and interpret blueprints, and so on and so forth. So again, you want to match this as much as possible for your resume. You want to match this as much as possible to the actual job posting to make it easier for the recruiters to find it and see how obvious it is that you are a good fit for this role. Let's see. So on your education, what you put on there is the fact that you graduated. It could be as simple as the year that you graduated, the name of the school, and so on and so forth. If you have any kind of college degrees, you could apply it as you see here. The year you got the degree, what the degree is in, the school that you went to, the city, and the state. So you really don't need to go into any more details for this particular roles. Other kind of opportunities and other kind of jobs that you're applying to, depending on what industry you're in, you may need to give more in-depth information, but in this example, it's not necessarily. Let's see. So there's some other certifications that you can acquire in your field as well. So you can actually list those for as long as they are relevant for the position you're applying to. You don't necessarily need to list all your certifications and all your extra curricular, all that stuff on your resume because it's going to make your resume longer. And that's not necessarily a good thing to have your resume being too long. So you want to try to keep all this information as short and straight to the point as much as possible. You want to give yourself a well-rounded look for the role that you are experienced, but at the same time, you want to make it short and sweet so for the recruiters can be able to see how you are such a good fit. But if you are actually new to the industry and you're trying to, put some stuff on your resume, if it's looking a little thin, you can actually add some other things that again are relevant. You can add some volunteer experiences. If you write blogs, you can write up talking about the blog. If you have hobbies and interests, and so on and so forth. So anything that you could have done that shows that you are invested in your own education, that you're invested in learning more about the particular field you're getting into, that you are just a motivated person was going to help the employer see you as one that's going to be a benefit to the company. So, in regards to cover letters, let's see. So, cover letters are often expected even if the job description doesn't necessarily say it needs one. So, just get in the habit. You apply for a job, you send a resume, and you send a cover letter. So if you attach a cover letter to your electrical apprentice resume, you can highlight your creativity. So this is where you can put in the in your job application why you want this job, whether if there's any kind of personal experiences as to why, with the company or with the position that this would be such a benefit, to you, make that obvious, but also a benefit to the company as well. Um Let's see. Including your cover letter in your application doubles your chances of getting hired. So again, it's another kind of communication with the employer of like who you are and why you're a good fit and the benefit that you can bring to the company. And let's see. I think I want to go back to this here now. Okay. So we talked about that. Cover letter, they are expected. Explain why you're interested in fields and shows that you're motivated. And one more thing to follow up. Send a thank you. Confirm your interest and the benefit that you can bring. And my rule of thumb is within 24 hours, I follow up with a thank you. Sometimes it's an actual thank you card that you can pick up from the dollar store for a 8-pack for $1. And I will handwrite a note and send them a thank you card, for their time and meeting with me. And sometimes if I don't necessarily have that information, I will just send an email or an electronic message on some sort of chatting platform saying, thank you for meeting with me. But whatever way you do it, send a thank you, follow up and say thank you. And then while you're saying thank you, tell them that you're still interested in the position and that you can see how you could benefit the company because of XYZ. Make it short, make it sweet, make it a couple sentence long. You don't need to get too lengthy about it, but it just reiterates the fact that it's like, I'm interested in the position and I think it would be great for your company. So now I'm going to kind of back up here a little bit and talk about spreadsheets. Get rid of that bullet. There we go. Shoot. I'm trying to make this a link again. There we go. So this is included in the video in the comments, but this is a jobs and skills tracking spreadsheet. Hide that. And let's see, this is in the way, so I can't really move. Let's see. Yeah, see, I can hide that. Okay. So there's 3 tabs here. There's jobs applied to, their skills, and their networking. So here's the first line. I have an example. So I want you to, whenever you're looking for jobs, which is another video, of the date the job was posted, the company, the contact, the phone number, the email, the address, the date that you applied, the date that the interview was scheduled, and the follow-up, and, so on and so forth, and the job position. So this is something that you have access to that you can customize how you want. For your skills, I want you to go ahead and take the time and to list out your tech skills and your soft skills. And this may be easier said than done because I know sometimes I have trouble whenever I have to sit down and make a list of things that I know how to do. My mind goes blank. And I just need to stop thinking about it and I'll be able to come up with the answers. So the expectation is not for you to just sit down and be able to jot out everything you know how to do. And even if you can get, several items down, I'm sure there's going to be something that you may not, remember or understand that it's actually a tech or a soft skill. So just keep this as a running list as you're going to school, as you're taking new classes, as you're working on things to improve yourself, whether again, tech skills or soft skills. Be sure to add to that list. And whenever you see a job position come open, you can, match like what the job position has and what skills that you have, and just be able to apply that is a little bit easier. And networking, I didn't really talk about this much, but networking is so vital. No matter what industry that you're in, networking and talking with other people, learning from other people, it's going to really help you in your job search and in your career. Um, there's everybody needs somebody to help them. And whether it's nepotism in regards to, a family or friend helping you get a position, that's fine. Take all the nepotism that you can get. Because what's going to matter is once you get in the position and once you get in the job and what you do with it. So, you know, take those names, meet those people, get out and go to conferences, go to job fairs, whenever the people at the Job and Family Services, whenever, and the employment counselors, and whenever they give you some advice on what to do and how to help find a job and secure a job, how to get the skills that you need to secure a job, take them on that. They know what they're talking about and they have your best interest in mind. So whenever there's any suggestions on what you can do it. So again, I want to include this link so that you can make it your own. And once you do open it, this is a Google Sheets. What you can do is go to File. Let's see. You can go to Download, and you can click on Microsoft Excel if you have Excel, or you can make a copy and then copy to your Google document, your Google Sheets. So whichever works best for you. Again, you can File, Download, Microsoft Excel, or you can just make a copy and save it to wherever it is that your particular, where you want to save it to. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Let me go back to the slide here. That is my contact information, and you'll be able to reach out on LinkedIn or on Twitter. And yeah, so this is this week's edition of the Job Search Techniques. Again, we're focusing on resume because it is such a vital part of your job search strategy, making sure that you're reaching out and talking with people and you're having a resume to present to them that's going to help show that you meet the qualifications, and that you're the candidate that they want to hire. So I thank you for your time. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.